Hey guys, I just wanted to do my review of tonight's episode of Legends of Tomorrow, Season 1, Episode 6, Star City 2046. So, the episode starts off with how with the same cliffhanger, and the cliffhanger ending is used as the opener for the episode, in which Connor Hawk fires an explosive arrow at the team as a warning shot. They all take cover. They have Rip and Captain Cold and Heatwave and all the other guys trying to firing back, but Connor Hawk is able to keep firing arrows and has them all cornered and hiding behind cars and barrels, and so they have to, and has them all retreating back to the Wave Rider. And Sarah wants to find out, and Rip is more concerned about getting the ship repaired and getting to the ship repaired, and Sarah wants to find out what's going on, what happened to Star City, and Rip tells them, not to, just don't worry about it. It's only a potential future. It's not fixed in time. That the longer they stay there, the more likely they are to get marooned or attacked by attacked. So they decided to go do some reconnaissance, and Ray suggests do some reconnaissance and go grab some technology, go grab some equipment from some replacement parts for the ship from Smoke Technologies at Ray's suggestion, and of course Rip just says there's going to be a reconnaissance thing, but Sarah says she's coming along whether Rip likes it or not, and threatens to kick his ass if he doesn't, and Snart and Rory come along as well, and they're under attack by a whole gang of criminals at the Highness in a school bus, and then they have Connor Hawk reappearing trying to fight him off, but he gets knocked down, and Sarah goes to his aid and Rip following along, and Captain Cold and Heatwave decide they take advantage of the situation, saying this is their liking to criminals running around, they're taking over the city, and try to figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, on the ship, basically, because of the psychic link, Stein finds out that Jax has a crush on Kendra, and she sees them interacting and making repairs. She's talking about how she remembers how she used to be a welder back in the early 20th century with Ray, and Jax just tells them to be and Jax is told by Stein to be confident and take a page out of his younger self's book and show confidence and not worry about his competition being Ray or Hawkman. And so they hit it off pretty well. They're able to flirt, and Stein tries to keep Ray from make sure Ray doesn't have any romantic feelings for Kendra, but he unintentionally just convinces Ray to pursue Kendra as a girlfriend, and Jax gets mad about it, even though Jax is annoyed, but he just says, I just have competition, I'll just continue what I've been doing. But then Kendra turns Ray down for a date later on, just because she says that given that her revelation about her past lives, and she still hasn't gotten over Hawkman, that she's not ready for a relationship right now. Jax eavesdrops on the conversation, and they kind of bust each other's balls as to who Kendra would have picked as a suitor. But that's pretty much what they were given to do before they're brought in for the final battle. And knowing the rogues are so great with their priorities, they decide to go running, especially Rip, Nick Rory decides to goes check out the scene. He runs into a gang leader who tries to mug them, but then Rory just uses a heat gun on him and to burn him, and then take it over to one of the lackeys, and he decides to take control of the gang and revel in this whole being leader of his own gang, listening to people telling him what to do. And Snart decides to go along with it for a little bit, but he feels like their priority should be stopping Savage and going to look for Sarah and company. And he says, like, what do you care? You said you were only in this for the. He says you're only in this for the score, and it basically leads to score. Rory says, like, oh, we can loot all these places. Have a gang listen. We have a gang that listens to what I want, and then it gets more heated when they find out that Deathstroke, who at least in this era is Grant Wilson, Slade's son, who's leading the rival gang, is trying to track down and kill Connor Hawke and Sarah and Rip, and they said Rip and Snart says they need to go rescue their friends, and it leads to a standoff where Snart convinces Rory to come with them. They go to save them from Deathstroke's army, but it gets to the point where they're still arguing about staying in the future and taking over the city, and Snart is forced to knock Rory unconscious and imprison him back on the ship, saying, I'm the brains, you're the brawn. If I haven't lied to you about jobs, jobs like I have in the past, we would have gotten ourselves killed, and it just basically makes Rory question, like, what his priority, what Snart's priorities are and where his loyalties really lie. So it's basically the main story arc is that Sarah corners Connor in the alley. They ask each other's identity. Sarah says Oliver Queen was the Green Arrow. Connor says he's dead. They don't know what happened to him. They haven't heard from him from the uprising in 2031, in which it was led by Deathstroke, and who confronts both of them in the alley. He takes off his mask, and Sarah first thinks it's Slade, but turns out to be Grant Wilson, Slade's son. And when Rip comes to their aid, Grant's gang surrounds them, and Connor has to take them to safety, and they're trying to figure. And Sarah and Rip are asking about where to get the tech for the ship, and they said all the smoke technology stuff was moved to the Arrow Cave, which is where they find the bionic arm, and also where Oliver Queen has been staying. He's been living there. He pulls a gun on them until he realizes his identity, and Oliver reveals that Connor Hawke was just really an alias for John Diggle Jr., and he's heartbroken that basically he took on the alias because he felt like he wasn't fit to have his father's name, and also heartbroken that Oliver's been hiding out down there while Connor's been out in the streets of Star City trying to fend for himself and trying to hold off the gangs, and Oliver just brushes them off, and Oliver's just kind of broken old man who just feels like the city's beyond hope, and just tells them that he doesn't know whether he tried to stop it. He tried to stop the army but failed, and he'll never know whether or not Ray and Sarah's presence would have turned the tide in Team Arrow's favor. He just brushes them off and tells them where to go find the tech, and And after, and Sarah insisted they need to help and stay there and help fight, but Rip says they need to get out of there before they're risk getting marooned there. It's the the future they're in is not real, and Sarah calls Rip out on saying that, so you get to travel through time and save your family from a dark future, but I can't do the same for the people I care about. And Rip counters saying that I'm trying to not just save my family but the whole planet. He says that Rip gives Sarah an hour and a half to go rescue Connor after he gets captured. If she doesn't come back, the ship's taking off without her. And while they're at the Smoke Technologies, Sarah grabs Oliver's old bow. They go in to rescue Connor from being decapitated by Grant, and at Stein's urging, Rip changes his mind and decides to send the whole team minus Rory to go rescue everyone. And basically Oliver's able to, and basically with a combined kind of like a 2-on-1 battle between the Green Arrows and Deathstroke, Grant's knocked unconscious, and the two Green Arrows decide to work together to clean up the city, knowing that Grant's defeat is going to lead to a power vacuum. And Oliver assures Sarah that he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay, knowing that John Diggle Jr. is going to help him out now. And so they basically take. Rip admits that Sarah was right. They basically take off to the next time period. It's not told when. It just ends with the ship taking off into the, making the time jump. But anyway, I just think this was a pretty good episode. I didn't expect this to. I didn't expect the twist about John Diggle Jr. being the second Green Arrow and the Connor Hawke thing being an alias. I mean, the storyline on the ship with Kendra and Ray and Jack was fine. I mean, obviously they needed to give them something to do, before the whole final climactic battle, and I'm excited to see where the dynamic about where Snart and Rory are going to stand, in future episodes, knowing that Snart's the more honorable one, is becoming more attached to the team, and Rory seeing right through him saying stop Savage, where we get to become legends, and it's you never cared about making a name for yourself. And just to see where it goes, especially that last line when Rory says, "I don't know who my people are anymore." So what do you guys think of the episode? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm going to be doing I might do my Agent Carter review tonight. If not, probably tomorrow. As well as my reviews for 999 and Eagle Eye. So if you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.